The shocking report has caused a real storm of indignation in the Labour Party, and now the leader, Keir Starmer, has come under incredible pressure. Everything that seemed clear and understandable, from past actions to current policies, suddenly came into question. We get ready for an important disclosure that caused Starmer to panic and look for an explanation. If you thought that his speech at the PMQ's meeting was a failure, then be prepared for a real shock. What is happening at Labour headquarters is simply amazing. Each wrong step only deepens the crisis, and the question arises: how many more mistakes can Labour make before the party collapses into the abyss? Let's take it all in order. The headquarters of the Labour Party is in complete chaos. Employees are rushing around in a panic, trying to find at least some kind of solution, but it seems that their efforts are only exacerbating the disaster. The main problem is the complete lack of unity within the party, and this threatens its very existence.
I've been a Labour voter my entire life. You have failed to be the opposition. You have failed to ask whether lockdown was functioning. Do you understand? Thousands of people have died because you have failed to do your job and ask the real questions. Well, I am telling you now, and I hope this goes out, you have failed this country. You have seriously failed. You have allowed our children to wear masks in school when it's never been any evidence for it.
A few moments later, a representative of the Labour Party indignantly rejected the accusations, calling them completely unfounded, while another official, with obvious embarrassment, admitted the existence of errors but insisted that they had been misinterpreted. The situation is becoming more and more confusing and chaotic, as if in a whirlpool. Labour's communication strategy is clearly falling apart before our eyes. Given the fact that there are many new people in the public relations team, it becomes obvious that they sorely lack the experience to manage a crisis of this magnitude. The veterans of the party, watching the unfolding disaster, can hardly contain a collective sigh of despair. There are disturbing rumors in Westminster that even more damaging information may surface in the coming days, capable of finishing off the party. Every time Starmer's phone rings, you can see panic in his team's eyes. They are preparing for a new scandal. The truth has been revealed, and no strategy can hide it. The main question now is, how long will Labour be able to stay on the edge of the abyss before something serious happens? Will we see mass resignations, a challenge to the leadership, or an attempt by the party to rally and weather this storm? One thing is clear: the opposition parties are closely watching their every move, ready to take advantage of Labour's vulnerability. The pressure on Starmer is increasing every day, and his team feels like the ground is slipping away from under their feet.
Do you know what the average age of death with COVID is? According to official national statistics, it's 82 years and 3 months. The average age of death normally, 81 years. Do you understand that we because old people are dying? Do you see this graph? The last time we had this much death was 2008. That's the British Medical Journal. No, I came here to speak to this man, not your security. You have failed me.
Political rivals are greedily exploiting this situation to their advantage, and calls for Starmer's resignation are becoming louder and more persistent. Conservatives are confidently seizing the initiative, ruthlessly accusing him of failing to deal with key issues that concern voters. And as if that wasn't enough, one of the representatives of the Labour Party betrayed his ideals and defected to the Conservatives, openly expressing his disappointment in the leadership of the party. Labour's mistakes undermine the trust of voters, and if Starmer is not able to fix the situation quickly, the party risks facing a catastrophic defeat in the upcoming elections. Questions about the leadership of the Labour Party are becoming increasingly acute, and Starmer seems to be finding it increasingly difficult to maintain his position, as if he is teetering on the edge of a precipice. While the internal chaos is growing, their policies are being subjected to increasingly harsh and merciless criticism. Starmer's promises regarding economic reforms and social policy are beginning to cause more doubts and discontent. Voters, frustrated and tired of uncertainty, are beginning to lose faith that Labour will be able to fulfill its obligations. Recent opinion polls show a sharp drop in support for Labour, especially in its traditional strongholds, and this sounds like a wake-up call about an impending storm.
So let's get a word with Simon Danuk, former Labour MP, on this one. Simon, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, it's good to be with you.
Always good to have you with us. Have you signed the petition yourself?
I have indeed, and I'm promoting the petition. And there's a good reason for that. I think this shows that Keir Starmer is in a really difficult position. Everybody knows how petitions work and how we elect governments and all the rest of it. But what it is showing is that there's real discontent in terms of the fact that Keir Starmer lied in the run-up to the general election, won votes, got elected on the basis of a series of lies, and then once he's got in power, he's done the absolute opposite, and people are extremely unhappy about it.
Even young voters, who were once the mainstay of the party, are starting to turn away from it with alarm. Political opponents are sharpening knives, ready to take advantage of the discontent of these disappointed voices. In the coming weeks, life-changing changes may occur in the ranks of the Labour Party. Will Starmer be able to revive the party and maintain his leadership, or will the Labour Party plunge into complete chaos and ruin? The Starmer scandal is escalating into a real political crisis, and we are horrified to see the collapse of British politics before our eyes, which can have disastrous consequences. This may be a turning point that can change the entire political system, or it may end, as in the case of previous scandals, leaving only bitterness and disappointment. In any case, the Labour Party will have a fierce struggle with the consequences. The coming days will be crucial as Starmer's leadership hangs in the balance like never before. The party must decide whether to support him or completely abandon him, and this decision can turn into a real disaster. The consequences of this choice may affect not only Labour, but also change the entire political landscape of the country. This scandal has the potential to fundamentally change the nature of British politics. The system is bursting at the seams, trust is weakening, long-standing alliances are falling apart, and voter discontent is reaching a critical point. Whatever happens, the drama will certainly be a landmark event that we will remember.
All unravelling a bit, isn't it? The markets don't like it, the farmers don't like it, businesses don't like it, the public don't like it, even working people don't like it.
Yeah, let's start with the Daily Telegraph's front page. They make the point that now borrowing has hit a high over the course of the last year in reaction to this budget. The markets have looked at it and they've said no thank you, right. because this isn't a budget in their view that's going to stimulate economic growth. The markets are based, it's very intelligent people and lots of very complicated algorithms, and they come to a view as to whether this country is going anywhere economically, and they've made the decision going on the basis of this budget, given the high taxes that now have gone up 40 billion, the burden of tax is going to go up to 38%, that actually Britain under this Chancellor, and this is the view of the markets, is not going to secure economic growth.
Smaller parties such as the Greens and even regional formations are eagerly waiting to take advantage of the growing disappointment of voters and attract their support. A split in Parliament in the upcoming elections is becoming more and more likely, and this is alarming. The Labour Party risks losing not only its traditional positions, but also control in the districts where they were once invincible. A decrease in support for Starmer and his party could turn into a real disaster in the elections, and this is frightening. Influential figures in British politics are increasingly demanding Starmer's immediate resignation. The atmosphere within the Labour Party is heating up to the limit, as various factions are engaged in a fierce struggle for power. Starmer, who was once entrusted with the difficult task of restoring the strength of the Labour Party, now faces the real threat of losing his leadership completely. What do you think about this video? Share your thoughts in the comments. See you!